Welcome to our world. Won't you come on in? Waiting just for you. Welcome to our world.
Hello.
Welcome to Friday, everyone.
What a long week it has been.
Such a long week. Okay.
Oh, thank God it's Friday. Oh,
Okay. Welcome to Friday. We're beginning with
This week in history.
what?
This Week in History. That's right.
Mm,
Okay.
mm, 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 mm. Go ahead.
In 1970, National Guardsmen shoot protesting students at Kent State. Wow. How politically timely.
They must have been getting violent.
They must have. It
I
was
was
for
only 7 when that happened, so I don't really remember it that much, but
This was after President Richard Nixon's announcement that U.S. and South Vietnamese forces were about to invade Cambodia in pursuit of North Vietnamese targets.
mhm.
National Guardsmen at Kent State in Ohio fired into the crowd, killing 4 and injuring 9.
You know the weird thing?
Yikes.
What? This is weird. So, obviously people, at that time, they were against that, right?
Mhm.
Like, anti-war and all that. The weird thing is, like, Trump is kind of anti-war.
Mhm.
But people are against that. I can't I it
Mm,
it's just weird how people flip from side to side and, like, the 2 sides flip from one thing to another, you know what I mean? And you never
snip,
really know,
snap,
like
snip, snap.
well, nobody likes war, but then at the same time, you also don't wanna just, kinda like World War II, where you just let somebody you, like, appease, right? Like, they appeased Hitler, and then, they appeased him again, and they kept giving,
I
giving till they realized this guy is just gonna keep going, so, anyway.
I could honestly really go for some peas right now. I'm very hungry.
Did you say some peas or some cheese?
I said peas. It was a dad joke.
Okay.
'Cause you kept saying appease
Oh,
over and
okay,
over.
okay.
Anyway,
You know what?
okay.
I do like peas. Peas are kind of
Yes.
underrated, I think.
In 1821, Napoleon dies in exile. Tragic. One of
Yeah,
the greatest military minds and conquerors in history died in exile on the remote island of Saint Helena.
I miss him.
I don't know, he just Oh, Waterloo, we all know that. Come on, ABBA.
Yep. Yep, that's right.
There's a lot of stuff. Okay, he lived a life. It would be interesting to read a biography of him.
How many people would even remember that Napoleon surrendered at Waterloo if it were not for ABBA?
Probably no one, let's be honest. In 1954, first 4-minute mile is accomplished.
When
That's
was that?
wild. In 1954,
Wow.
it was 25-year-old medical student Roger Bannister.
So
He
what's the current record? What's the current record for the fastest mile right now?
so he won the notoriously difficult race in 3 minutes and 59.4 seconds. My gosh. Okay, let's see. What is this for?
The
Fastest
fastest mile.
mile ever. 3 minutes and 43 seconds,
Think about that.
achieved by Hicham El Guerrouj of Morocco in 1999. That's the male, and then the fastest mile ever run by a female athlete is 4 minutes and 7.64 seconds,
Mm,
achieved by Faith Kipyegon of Kenya in 2023. And fun fact, I don't know if you heard about this or not, but this summer, she, Faith, is actually going for a sub 4-minute mile. It's a whole thing
wait a minute, and when did she set the record?
in 2023.
Okay, it was only a couple years ago. I
She
was
has
thinking
to
back
cut 8
1999.
seconds.
Yeah,
8
yeah,
whole seconds.
yeah. Somebody's gonna
That's
beat
a
that.
lot.
Somebody's gonna beat that record.
Well, no, they definitely will, but the thing with hers is you haven't
One of
heard
the
about
guys
this, or you have?
one of the guys is gonna beat that record.
The 3 minutes
No,
and 43?
no, her record, the 4 minute and 7 second.
Guys have beaten hers. This is the female.
I know, but I'm saying
It's like I'm talking to a monkey.
no,
A big what?
saying it's gonna
Are you trying
happen.
to make a joke?
One of the guys is gonna put a wig on, and they're gonna race in the
Oh,
female
no,
race
it's
and
her.
beat her
It's not.
record.
Are you making a trans joke?
Yes.
Okay, great. We're moving on. So that was that. In 1915, Germans sank the RMS Lusitania.
Wow.
It killed nearly 1,300 passengers, including more than 120 Americans.
Wow.
The Germans claimed they had reason to believe the ship was armed, a theory that was later debunked in
How
trial.
crazy is that? How crazy is that? Right?
That's wild.
I don't know, I guess anything's possible, right? If they did it by accident and then they didn't wanna say, "We're sorry, we did this by accident," right?
Mhm.
They would never tell you, okay? Or what if the ship was actually armed? What if they were carrying, let's say it'd be part of the ship, they were carrying, like, ammunition or whatever, supplies, and they didn't obviously tell any of the passengers. It's kinda like when terrorists kind of go in a hospital because they think they'll be safe there and they won't be attacked, right? And they put all those people in the hospital at risk, you know?
Mhm.
Something like that. So, anyway,
Anyway is right. Okay. 1973 nine nine get out of here. 1973. AIM ends its occupation of Wounded Knee.
what?
No idea what is happening.
What did it say?
I shall read it. On May 8, 1973, armed members of the American Indian Movement, otherwise known as AIM, ended their 71-day siege of Wounded Knee, site of the massacre of 300 Sioux by the U.S. 7th Cavalry in 1890.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I can I think there's nothing I can add to that.
After White House officials promised to investigate their complaints, AIM leaders and their supporters surrendered. I wonder if they actually did.
You
I'm
mean
going to
if
Google
they
this.
actually surrendered?
No, if they actually investigated the complaints.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Nothing I can add to that. I mean, it pretty much says
Um,
it all.
let's see.
Am I expected to know anything about any of these historical events?
Aftermath. I don't know. Am I? What do you mean? There was a 19. Oh, wait. No, that's not it. Aftermath. Here we are.
Calculus.
Following the end of the standoff, the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation had a higher rate of internal violence. Oh, that's sad. Let's see. I want
Mm.
to see if they actually did
Do we
about
have
it.
any more cheerful historical events?
Leonard Crow dog's arrest. Legacy. Oh, there's a lot of stuff. I should read the whole Wikipedia page. This is a whole thing. I can't. I'm not gonna try and explain all of this right now. This is a whole thing with like the FBI and corruption and stuff. Okay. 1671. Captain Blood tries to steal English crown jewels. It's exciting.
Wow. So what happened? I'm assuming he wasn't
He
successful.
he sought revenge against England since 1660, the year the monarchy deprived him of his Irish estate. Get it?
Oh, get
Let's
out.
see. In 1671, Blood, disguised as a priest, persuaded the jewel house keeper to surrender his guns. Three of Blood's
Wow.
men forced their way into the jewel house, but were apprehended when the keeper's son appeared and guards stormed the tower.
Oh my god. That's cool.
Oh, wait, one of Blood's men shoved the royal orb down his breeches while Blood flattened the crown with a mallet and tried to run off with it. Impressed by Blood's audacity, King Charles II restored the adventurer's Irish estate and made him a member of the court with an annual pension.
What?
You heard me? That's
I
insane.
don't understand any of
Live
that.
your dreams. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do what you want to do.
Sometimes crime pays. I mean,
Crime
now the thing
pays.
is, if they really did do that, if they took his estate, I understand why he was angry.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Was it the right way to, respond?
Apparently
Probably
it
not.
was. Apparently it was. Apparently
Actually,
it
you're
was.
right, apparently it was, okay. And our last one for the week, in 1954, "Rock Around the Clock" is released.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm not gonna start singing it.
The song is
So that
notable
was the original Happy Days theme?
as it
That
is
that was
considered
the
the
original
first Hold on. It's considered the first true rock and roll song heard by millions of people around the world. After it was chosen to play during the credits of Blackboard Jungle, it became an immediate sensation, causing riots in schools and movie theaters.
Hmm.
Did you say it's the Happy Days theme song?
It was the original theme song for Happy Days.
Happy Days is the Happy Days theme song.
No, for the first year, I heard this, maybe it was a month ago or something. For the first year of the series, that was the theme song.
I've never seen Happy Days.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is this the song that's like, "We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock
Yep,
around."
yep.
Nice. Okay, great. I've never actually heard the whole thing. I think I've only really just heard that part. Okay, we are moving on to
Listener feedback. Yeah.
listener feedback. Okay, this is from last week's episode when we talked about space. Someone commented, "Thoughts so far on the episode? I can't remember how Samantha phrased the question, but obviously the sun is actually the closest star to us, not Alpha Centauri."
That was like a
Which
trick question, that means.
I was gonna say, I feel like we it should have been the question should have been worded differently, but
That was a really good point, though,
it was an excellent point.
you know?
But you, I think, wanted to clarify that you knew that
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think
for
most
the
people
people.
don't.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
The comment also says, "Star Wars novels were written after the movies in the case of every single movie." And, because, we were talking about or I said that I think there has not been I couldn't think of a movie that came before the book,
Right.
right?
Well, you were saying that the book is pretty much always better than the movie.
The book's always better than the movie in my opinion. I think Star Wars, I can't say because I've never seen all the movies, but I've never read any of the books,
Mhm.
but are they actual novels or is it literally just you don't know, you don't read. Why am I asking you?
How would I know this?
Okay. Because I feel like it's not the same in my mind for some reason. But then this
Mhm.
person also says, "Lord of the Rings movies are better than the books in my opinion." And
So that's an exception then, if that's you know
for this person, I think the books are I mean, obviously the books are extremely popular as
Mhm,
well. Probably one of the only things that the books are pretty much equally as popular as the actual movie franchise. It's funny though, I'm actually reading and JoJo had given me a while ago, like a magazine about Lord of the Rings and how it came to be and all this stuff,
mhm,
and there were a lot of reviews when the first movie came out
mhm.
saying that, like bad reviews saying that how much better the book was,
Yeah.
and how they didn't do justice to, Tolkien's world and all that.
Mhm,
So, I don't know, again, obviously, the person thinks that. I don't know, I in my mind, I haven't read the books for a while, but I also haven't seen the movies for a while, and in my
mhm,
mind, I think they're, if anything, pretty even, but I still the amount of detail in the books
mhm,
there are just always, and I think I said this last week, there are always things that are going to be missing from the movie that you just don't have time to include, and so
mhm.
I think you're just never really going to do justice, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Yeah, unless you had one book that was covered by multiple movies. Like I was saying, like a
Right.
miniseries type or something like that, and then it wouldn't even be hard to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Another comment, here's a grievance. I hate when people drag their feet when they walk. Like, pick up your feet. How hard is it? Some of my students do that, and it's like they think they're cool or something, but it's so annoying. This kid in flip flops was just doing it. Flip flop, flip flop, flip flop, flip flop. Shut up. And
Yeah.
then someone else commented, I hate that, especially when they do it to be cool. It's not cool. Also, pull your pants up.
I hate it when people walk across the road really slowly
We're not talking
in
about our
front of
grievances yet.
cars. I'm talking about it. Okay, I'll save that for
And
a
we've
few minutes.
talked about that
Just
already. What do you
repeat it.
mean?
I know, it
That
still
was
bothers
episode
me.
1.
I'm gonna just repeat the same grievances every week because they still bother me.
Great, then I'll have something to complain about every week. I love that, it's a win-win.
I hate the way your hair gets greasy if you don't wash it.
And our final listener comment for today, this is a rare one, so I wanna
Okay.
give it its moment that it deserves.
Okay.
Samantha, you made me LOL thrice this episode. Good for me. I
Thrice.
love that. Yeah.
You should ask for the specific example so you know
Mm,
what the 3 times were,
nah.
just to
We
make sure that the person knows what thrice means.
we What, you don't think I was funny 3 times?
No, you probably were. I just wonder what those 3 times were.
Probably. Ugh, hate this. Okay. We're moving on to
If you have grievances, and I'm sure you have.
the grievances. Go ahead. You seem super eager.
Okay. I actually hate now in my life, I hate when I go outside
Mhm.
because my hair is very thin and very dry, okay?
Mhm.
I don't put any kind of treatment on my hair. It blows, and I look like either like a mad scientist or
Mhm.
or
That's
like,
it.
what's his name? Doc from Back to the Future.
Oh, that's a really good comparison on a windy day. That's you for sure.
That's exactly how I feel. I
Mhm.
hate that. I hate that. But yes, I still do hate it when people walk across the street really slowly while you're sitting in your car waiting for them. I hate that.
Mhm.
One of these days, I'm gonna have a bad day and my hair's gonna be blowing in the wind like that, and then somebody's gonna walk slowly in front of me, in front of my car, and I'm gonna run over them.
I love that idea.
Run over them, and I'm gonna ask for a jury trial, and I'm gonna explain why I did it, and when I tell them how slow the person was walking, and maybe their pants needed to be pulled up too, and hair was around and very dry, I'll probably start
Okay.
crying while I'm telling them this, and they'll feel
Alrighty.
bad for me, and they'll let me go.
Well, I have 2 complaints for today, I think. My first complaint is Yahoo, the search engine.
Okay. Does anybody
I
use that anymore?
What?
Does anybody use Yahoo for search?
Yeah, my browser. It really wants it to be the default, and no matter how many times I set Google as my default for things, whenever it does an update, it always goes back to Yahoo,
Okay,
and I
something's not right there then.
maybe not, okay, but regardless, I have tried. I wanna make it clear. I have
Mhm.
tried to use Yahoo, and as I said to you before we started recording, Google should have a monopoly on this. We shouldn't be angry that Google has the monopoly on search engines, okay?
I don't know about that, but
Yahoo it's mostly a joke. Yahoo is trash, absolute trash, and I it's just bad. I have
mm,
tried to do searches on Yahoo, like, when I've accidentally opened a browser that has Yahoo instead of Google, I have tried to
mhm,
do my search on Yahoo. I'm not trying
mhm,
to be biased,
mhm.
and I never just get the answer. You know how when you Google something, you just
Yeah,
get the answer
yeah.
immediately that you're looking
Mhm,
for? Genius.
mhm,
Imagine that. Imagine that I wanted just the answer to the question that I asked. It's
mhm,
crazy, right?
mhm.
Yahoo is so bad. It's so bad. Fix it.
You know
Fix it or get rid of it.
the funny thing, when Google first came on the scene, like, a long time ago now, but keep in mind at that point, like, Yahoo was pretty big. There was Alta Vista was one. There was, Ask Jeeves. So there were different search engines, and a lot of times you would try one, then you try another. Like, if you were looking for something, you try multiple ones. Then Google came on the scene, and they were, like, so much better than everyone else, you know?
Mhm.
But the bad thing is, so now they're the biggest search engine, which gives them, like, way too much control. And I don't know, have you ever tried that DuckDuckGo browser? Or not
No, because
DuckDuckGo, but
Google works.
DuckDuckGo search engine? Well, they say because of, because the one thing, I was watching something yesterday and, with Gmail, like, I've had my Gmail address for a long, long, long time. But if you read the agreement, they can literally, not they can't personally identify you, right? But they can literally read your emails, so they know what you're interested in, right? And there's, an advertiser ID that's attached to you so that if you have emails, where you're talking about, I don't know, like mattresses or you've been looking at whatever, they know that. And so, they sell that information and you get advertisements to do with that. Or if
Okay.
there's something to do with medication, right? You get
Here's the
that.
thing,
Right.
though. I want to make
Mhm.
it clear that like this is not just something that Google does.
No,
'Cause
not at
the way
all.
you okay, and so my point is that's an issue for sure that
Mhm.
needs to be addressed. And obviously there was that whole debate about third party cookies last year or the
Right.
year before that, and people said, "Oh yeah, we're going to change," and then they didn't change, and then it's been like a whole back and forth thing about that. So
The third
that
party cookie affair.
yes, I love that. That is a great title. Good for you.
Okay.
10 points to Jim. Good for you.
Gryffindor.
So so I'm not okay with any of that, obviously, but that happens everywhere you go and like every site that you're on.
Mhm.
Google should have search engine supremacy. This is not debatable.
Okay.
All
I mean,
right,
right now,
moving on.
but no. But the one thing is, seriously, I don't use Google nearly as much for searches as I used to. Or if I
Because you
do,
use AI.
or I was going to say, or if I do, I put questions. In the past, you couldn't just put a question in and expect to get results from it, but now you can, right? And you can still use Google, and Google uses Gemini then to get the search results.
Yes.
Um, but
But I'm just
it's a lot
saying the other nice thing that Google does, and also I should mention that this podcast is sponsored by Google
better.
today. The
Yeah.
other nice thing that the Google search does is, and I know it wasn't always like this, I'm just saying the current iteration of it is even if, and at this point, the AI search that comes up first gives you the answer that you're looking for. Even if you're not using that, usually the first two options are maybe sponsored or whatever. You scroll by those because you're a smart internet user.
Right.
And then they'll have, later links and you can kind of see what you're looking for. But then they have the list with the drop down arrows with the questions where it's kind of
Mhm.
like, oh, did you mean this? Like is
Right,
this really
right.
what you wanted to know? And
Well,
then
because
when
now they've
you
incorporated AI into it.
well, no, but that was
Into
that
the
was
search.
before AI. That
Yeah.
existed
Well,
before
some of it they
AI.
did. You're right, you're right.
And so that part of it, you would click that, and then now maybe this is more the AI part of it because I don't remember how long that it's been doing this. But
Mhm.
when you click one of the specific things like questions that they have listed, and you see the answer, then it prompts you with more related questions like, oh, are you
Mhm.
actually then looking for this? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So it really, it's very smart,
It's good. Yeah,
very smart.
yeah, it's good. It narrows it down. The only thing, like you said, right, they have the sponsored links embedded and all that, and the only good thing right now anyway about strictly using AI for searches is they don't do that. Not yet. They will,
Well, they
you
don't,
know?
but I'm saying at least with and I don't know, maybe all search engines do this, but at least it says sponsored at the top of it, so like,
Right.
okay, I'm scrolling by this because I don't trust you
Well,
because you're sponsored. That's how I feel.
it bothers you though because you know how some of them they're pretty clearly marked. Others, it's like it's like in a lighter font or something like that. So it's so you really
My
have to look to know
my
which
point
ones
is,
are good
it's
ones.
distinct. Would you stop
You're
arguing against Google right now?
no, I'm not arguing against Google,
Stressing me
because
out. We're moving on.
we do have to thank Google for Google Meet, which we're using for this
As I
to record
said,
this
the
podcast.
sponsorship.
Yes, yeah.
My
You know
second
who's
and
really
fi
bad? Who's really bad? Google is good, you're right. Who's really bad for the sponsored, links and all that is Amazon, right? Where you're specifically going to shop
You've
for something.
complained about this already.
I know, but it's so
Okay,
annoying. You
so
go
you
to
don't get
search,
to
they
complain
have the
about multiple
sponsored links in
things.
there.
Nope, you don't get to complain about it multiple times.
I'm doing it.
Moving on.
Okay, go ahead.
My second complaint is just Juan Soto as a person. I don't like him. And I think for him to be the highest paid athlete in history is absolutely insane, and it's not deserving of that at all.
Ridiculous, yeah.
I don't like him, and he's not even
Yeah.
like deserving of that. That's all
He
I have to
is
say.
he's kind of an influencer, though.
Okay, I'm leaving. I hope you all have a great weekend.
Goodbye.
We'll see you on Tuesday.
Goodbye. The outro. Time for the outro music.
Yeah. Welcome to
Welcome to Friday, everyone.
we We said we would see you, and we
Oh.
did. Oh no, my laptop's
long
gonna die.
It's been
Hold
a
on.
long week. Thank God it's Friday.
It's been a really long week. I need to plug my laptop in before it dies. Okay, so today, actually, hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay. And after you do that, check and see if you have an email from Google Meet.
Okay,
Do you have an email from Google Meet?
I have been looking, and no, not yet.
No, that's not a good sign.
Bye.
Why is it taking so long? That first recording wasn't very long at all.
Said it could take 24 hours.
I know, but that's...
Oh wait, there. I didn't get an email, but I have it.
Oh,
It's in my.
can you,
It's in my desk.
can you share it with me from your thing? I would really like to test that before we do the Friday episode. Now, I guess we should just do the Friday episode. Let's do it. Actually, we should stop and start a new one so that the one comes through sooner.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, bye.
Goodbye. Are you still there? Even though you... Oh, no. I guess I'm leaving.